a Holocaust survivor who survived the worst possible attack on the Jewish people there ever was, now has to survive another attack in Boulder, Colorado.
Federal hate crime charges filed today against the man accused of throwing Molotov cocktails at peaceful demonstrators, burning 12 people in Boulder. The FBI calling Sunday's crimes a targeted terror attack. Thank you for joining us. For Denver 7 News at 6, I'm Jessica Porter.
And I'm Shannon Ogden, live in Boulder tonight. The victims were calling for the release of Israeli hostages in Gaza. And the man accused in the attack, Mohammed Sabri Solomon, is from Colorado Springs. In addition to the federal charges, he is looking at 16 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Now, I'm on the Pearl Street Mall right at 13th Street. This devastating attack happened, in fact, just right there. The assailant threw the incendiary devices from that patch of grass right there onto those people who were just peacefully walking along Pearl Street. Shops and restaurants are back open amid heavier police presence, and people are trickling through, but conversations, as you can imagine, are largely about the attack. And there is an unease. In fact, a skateboarder went down Pearl Street. Skateboarding is not allowed, and a police officer yelled very loudly, "Stop him!" to other officers down the mall. And just a jolt of panic sort of went among the crowd who heard them, again, understandably. But also a very touching scene. Until just recently, a group against anti-Semitism set up right there on the spot where the attack happened just to talk to people. They even brought a dog just to pet. Now, this is a tough time in Boulder. It is a difficult and important story here and across the nation. And we have team coverage for you tonight with multiple crews in Boulder.
We're digging into arrest documents to learn more about what prompted this act of terrorism, how state leaders are responding, and the impact this incident is having on the Boulder community and beyond. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta begins that coverage for us tonight.
Well, we only learn more and more as the hours go on since that attack. First off, there were 8 people who officials told us were initially injured in that attack yesterday. That has now increased to 12 people. We also know there were 16 unused Molotov cocktails. Those were found just within arm's reach of that suspect when he was arrested. And we also know now that he tried to buy a gun but couldn't. Those local and federal officials making it really clear for us tonight they are working together on this case, both filing charges.
I stand with this community and the people of the state of Colorado against hate and terror. And we are united in our commitment, both at the federal level and the state level, in pursuing and securing justice for the victims of this mass attack and for the communities that we serve.
And we have learned much more from both those federal and state court documents about the attack on that group demonstrating for the release of Israeli hostages in Gaza. A federal document says the suspect threw 2 lit Molotov cocktails at those demonstrators, yelling "Free Palestine" as he did so. The Molotov cocktails, they did ignite in the crowd. They caused burn injuries to at least 8 of those people who were ultimately injured. Police found a black container with the unlit Molotov cocktails nearby. There was also a backpack weed sprayer with the flammable substance inside. That was also found there. A state arrest affidavit says the suspect used that sprayer as a, quote, makeshift blowtorch. Now, during an interview with law enforcement officials, the suspect said he'd been planning this attack for a year, waiting for one of his children to graduate before carrying it out. He told police he learned to make Molotov cocktails from watching a YouTube video. Officials telling us today that was a deviation from his original plan.
He said that he had previously tried to purchase a firearm, but resorted to the Molotov cocktails when he could not purchase a gun because he was not a legal citizen.
And the FBI says so far they've interviewed at least 44 witnesses. They've also executed search warrants not only on property, but also vehicles, even digital devices. And when asked if this suspect was on police or even the FBI's radar, both said no during a press conference earlier this afternoon. We're in Boulder tonight. I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.